Hello and welcome to the Medical Sales Podcast. I'm your host, Samuel, founder of a revolutionary medical sales training and mentorship program called the Medical Sales Career Builder, and I'm also host of the Medical Sales Podcast. In this podcast, I interview top medical sales reps and leading medical sales executives across the entire world. It doesn't matter what medical sales industry, from medical device to pharmaceutical to genetic testing and diagnostic lab, you name it, you will learn how to either break into the industry, be a top 10% performer within your role, or climb the corporate ladder. Welcome to the Medical Sales Podcast. And remember, I am a medical sales expert sharing my own opinion about this amazing industry and how it can change your life. So Gage, how are we doing today?
Doing good, sir. Yourself?
Fantastic. Why don't you tell everybody who you are and what you do?
Yeah, well, nice to meet you first off, Samuel. My name is Gage Mize. I work as Director of Government Sales for MedPro Associates, as well as I work on the commercial side of things with commercial facilities, so inside the four walls of the hospital, inside South Texas and South Louisiana. But main gig is directing the government sales for our organization across the country, working hand in hand with our reps in the field, as well as our manufacturers on a daily basis.
Okay, so let's get into that because that's interesting. Government sales. I've talked to a lot of reps, a lot of managers, a lot of directors, CEOs, but government sales is unique. So let's get into it. What exactly do you sell, and what does it mean to be in government sales?
Yeah, so with MedPro, we're a 1099 group. So we are agnostic to distribution channels and all that jazz. So we actually represent about 39 manufacturers inside the government space, with some big names being B. Braun, Healy and Weber Prosthetics, Metrix Disinfectant Wipes. So we really cover like capital equipment all the way down to disposable. So our kind of mantra on that is we can talk to anyone inside the hospital and have a product for them anywhere inside the hospital.
Wow. Give us a little bit more, Gage. Give us the top 5 most sold products your reps sell.
Yeah. So for capital equipment wise, obviously we're going to be seeing a lot of stainless steel through Blickman sold in the ORs and other various spots inside the hospital. Detecto scales, crash carts, rescue carts, trash receptacles, B. Braun, so our IV pumps, syringes, catheters, and then Metrix disinfectant wipes. There are disinfectant wipes that we represent inside the DoD and VA. We sell a lot of those.
Wow. So then if somebody was listening to this right now and said, that sounds so interesting, what would this type of medical sales be officially called?
Yeah, so I think it would be called government sales, government distribution, somewhere in that route. Obviously, since we're a contracted sales group, we work with distribution as well as the manufacturers. So you're really a contracted sales person inside the government is how I describe it.
Got it.
Right there.
Okay, so then your reps that report to you, they're 1099, they're not W-2 employees.
Correct. Yeah, so all of MedPro is a 1099 group. And so that gets into the question of managing gets a little bit tricky with 1099 reps
Sure.
at times. So the nuances with that comes with that, obviously we're not tied to a certain manufacturer, which is nice. I can go out there and sell 10 different products in one day, or I can go out there and just focus on the one product for those accounts that I'm reaching out to. Also gives us, that ability to pivot and move. If someone doesn't like our product that we're pitching right now, we can move to Metrix disinfectant wipes and they might love that and open up an avenue later on in our sales cycle that we can bring in that product that we were pitching before.
Got it. Okay, so let's describe it for our audience because this is new to a lot of people.
Yeah.
What does it mean to be in government? So, to the best of your ability, give us the full detail of what it means to be in government sales.
Yeah, it's really being integrated with those VAs and DODs, right? So it's a lot of contracting in there. So when you first start, it's really getting that understanding of the contracting, that federal supply schedule, the DAPA management for the DOD, the GSA for the VA, and understanding, how they buy, where they're buying, are they only allowed to buy USA made products, that sort.
Sorry. Who is your normal call point?
Yeah, my normal call point, like I said, representing 39 different manufacturers, we're calling everyone from logistics to biomed to materials management, nurse managers of the OR, directors of nursing, infection prevention, EVS, the whole hospital. Like I said earlier, right. I really think our targets, every floor of the hospital, we've got something for someone.
Now, I take it just based on what you just shared, you're not calling too much on physicians, or physicians lumped into that as well.
Yeah, sorry about that. So physicians are lumped into that as well. So along with all of that, we're getting buy-in from those clinical folks right away. So then we
Gotcha.
can then go to those materials or logistics folks kind of in that ivory tower that we can be, hey, your people on the ground over there in
Are
the
using
PR
this?
are really wanting this product. Let's get this brought in. And then we work that way fully through.
That's very cool. So, and then you said you have such a large suite of products.
Yeah.
So all of your reps, are they responsible for a segment of those suite of products, or is everybody, open bag, whatever you want to sell on whatever day, you go for it?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you just said, whatever you want to sell on a daily basis. Obviously, like region to region, there might be little pockets that certain
Sure.
manufacturers do better for others. And you might want to, disseminate your manufacturers by like, hey, I'm getting paid this amount by this person. That's going to be my biggest revenue maker this year. Let me try to hit that really hard. And then on the flip side of that, also integrate all of my other products while I'm getting integrated with that one product that I'm hitting hot and heavy.
Wow. So let's talk about it some more. So if I work for you and I wake up on a Tuesday, I can just sell whatever I want, or do you kind of give your reps a little bit of direction on what you prefer they sell based on where they are?
Yeah, so we have a whole management team. We actually have regional VPs as well that help us out with that. So we have Monday calls every week with my team, our government specialist, to kind of let them know, hey, this is what's going on in the market, or hey, we need to focus on this a little bit more. We need to show this manufacturer a little bit more love. I haven't seen too many opportunities in the past couple of weeks. So you can get guidance if you'd like that guidance from anyone inside the company, right? So our tenured reps, you could call them and be like, hey, how are you selling metrics into your hospitals? I'm having a little bit of trouble right now. So we really have all those avenues to where if you wanted to have someone along the way, along the process 24/7, you can. But if you wanted to manage your own pipeline, manage your own opportunities and everything like that, you can do so.
Amazing. There's a lot of autonomy in this role. Like it's your
Very.
world. So you're a director. I want to talk about the day to day. Before we get there, considering how much autonomy there is in this role, what type of people do you find yourself attracted to this kind of job? I mean, where are they coming from?
Yeah, great question, Samuel. Great question. So a lot of athletic background, I'll be honest, like a lot of other medical manufacturers, medical companies, that drive and competition and just that determination that a lot of those college athletes have really fits well with MedPro and what we see. Our owner, Bill Sparks, he was actually a college hockey player.
Oh,
Our whole company, we love hockey.
yeah,
And so
all of them's jocks.
yeah, exactly. I wouldn't. I played college volleyball, so I don't know if I call myself a jock compared to the rest of the team. But yeah, no, really, just determined folks. Like I kind of said to you before, someone that isn't afraid to get up and get told no. Right in
Sure.
this industry, you're going to get told no 50 times before you get told yes. At least from what I've seen. And so, just being able to get up every morning, have that drive, that want to be able to do great, and that want to be able to do great for yourself, because like I said earlier, we're 1099. So we're pushing ourselves a lot of the time with the regional managers. I don't think you're going to have the success in a 1099 world, especially in the government, if you don't have that drive and want to get
Mhm.
up every day and
Yeah.
really just go kill it.
Yeah. So on that note, take us back to when you were an individual contributor.
Yeah.
Give us your day to day, man. When were you waking up? What were you? Who were you trying to see? I want to know from the moment you woke up to the moment you got home and shut it all down. Give us the full day. What does it look like?
Yeah. So realistically, I'm getting up or anywhere around 6 to 7 a.m. Being the director, I've got people out on the East Coast calling me at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., like, hey, I need this brace ordered right over here, yada, yada. So waking up at 6, 7, sitting down at my desk, making sure I didn't miss any emails from the night before, but really just planning out my day. Hey, do I have accounts that I need to go hit? Or am I in the office today making a bunch of cold calls? So determining that at first, obviously you'll probably know before that day, but sitting down, making sure you have your day in a line. Also, what manufacturers you probably want to represent that day. Having a plan as a 1099 rep really goes a long way, because I think a lot of reps in the 1099 world struggle with time management and just sitting down and kind of get everything together. So in the morning, I really took an hour to just get everything together, make sure I have everything planned. And then from there, whether or not I'm cold calling over the phone or in accounts, planning out my day strategically. If I'm driving the way it makes sense, hitting accounts there and back. So on days that I would be driving, I'd be going into the Houston VA. I'd spend a whole day in there, starting from floor 7, going
Wow.
down to floor 1, trying to hit every clinic, get myself entrenched there. And so on the other side of cold calling, really just understanding, hey, how is my outreach going to be the most effective cold calling wise? Prospecting, making sure that these accounts that you're calling are viable options so that when you are calling, you're not wasting your time spending 2 hours calling on 50 accounts that didn't even pertain to what product, you're specializing in that day.
Right. When does
And
the day
then
end?
yeah,
Go
and
ahead.
then lunchtime, obviously, take a good lunch. I recommend that to all 1099 reps and most reps out there. I think we all need a little bit of break throughout the day. Give it a 30-minute, 45-minute lunch, take a run, go grab a Coca-Cola and a sandwich. I think that would do people a lot of good. Taking a break throughout the day. I do that myself almost every single day. And then afternoon wise, again, just kind of level setting with myself, making sure, hey, I know what I need to do this afternoon. If I need to go out to some accounts, I make sure I'm able to do that. Or if I need to be cold calling again, I'll probably flip to a different manufacturer in the afternoon, just so I'm hitting multiple manufacturers a day and getting all those manufacturers taken care of.
Got it. And so the day's ending around.
I'd say it really depends, right? So like conversion wise or in accounts, sometimes we do have to go in at night for these night shifts and present them a product. Maybe the champion is on a night shift. So you might be there at a facility at 8 o'clock at night. Other days you might end at a 3 o'clock and be able to go, have a nice little early dinner with your other half, your friends, go have a nice happy hour with your distribution reps. So it's really fluid, right? So I have days where I'm up at 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then I have days where I'm working from 9 to 3, right? So it's really, really, really the word I'm trying to find, I guess, personalized to each person, whether you're a 1099 rep or not. I think each day is different in a 1099 rep view. So it's hard to give, like a set structure per
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. Now, from what you know, most of your reps is MedPro all they do, or do they have like a side gig or another company they work for? How does it normally work?
No, so like we're 1099, but we obviously try to have that respect and, just for that respect for manufacturers that we're not going to pick up any competing lines, right? With MedPro, they do an amazing job, our management, where us as reps, as a 1099 reps, usually we're out there going and pitching ourselves to these manufacturers. Well, our management, Manny Losada, Bill Sparks, Albert Sands, and Jake Sparks, they're going out there and actively pitching themselves to these manufacturers where we're just getting them dropped onto our laps, which is really nice.
So it sounds like your team, MedPro, is all they do and all they want to do.
Yeah, no, it's like I said earlier it's a family business. Everyone loves each other. Really, it's a referral business, I'd say, with MedPro. Everyone knows everyone. If someone's doing something bad, I think everyone in MedPro will call each other out, right? So it really is a family.
Accountability.
Yeah, accountability. I mean, our owners, if I came to them and was like, hey, I need this right now, not even a question. They'd come to me and be like, hey, Gage, what do we need to do to work this out? Yeah, no, the utmost trust in them with MedPro as well with our manufacturers.
I love it. So, okay. You know very well what a W-2 position is, and you are thriving in a 1099. Talk to us about why you prefer 1099 world versus a W-2 world.
Yeah, so I think the first thing is just, we spoke about it already, that autonomy that I have, right? So, I mean, 1099 versus W-2, I think the benefits of being a 1099 right now is that I'm not bogged down by these, daily, monthly pipeline calls. Hey, making sure that your pipeline is, obviously we want to make sure our pipeline's healthy and everything, but just those constant, hey, this hasn't been progressed, this hasn't done that, this hasn't done that. Obviously we're getting some coaching from our regional VPs, but just that the autonomy and not having someone hound over you 24/7, it gives you the ability to breathe and also work your deals how you want to work them. You can integrate whoever you want to integrate, or you can run it yourself fully through, right? So I think that's an awesome proposition, to whereas W-2, they have stringent, this is what you need to do when we get a demo. This is what you need to do when we get a product in. With us, it's really us garnering that attention, want, and driving it through the whole way, which I think is amazing 1099 wise, because you get entrenched inside a facility.
I hope you're enjoying today's episode. And I want to let you know our programs cover the entire career of a medical sales professional. From getting into the medical sales industry, to training on how to be a top performer in the medical sales industry, to masterfully navigating your career to executive level leadership. These programs are personalized and customized for your specific career and background, and trained by over 50 experts, including surgeons. Our results speak for ourselves, and we're landing positions for our candidates in less than 120 days in top medical technology companies like Stryker, Medtronic, Merck, Abbott, you name it. Would you run an Ironman race without training and a strategy? You wouldn't. So why are you trying to do the same with the medical sales position? You need training, you need a strategy, and you need to visit evolveyoursuccess.com, fill out the application, schedule some time with one of our account executives, and let's get you into the position that you've always dreamed of.
Immediately as you get a disinfectant wipe or, a big sale on those. So that just leads to you being able to be your own boss and being able to run your own accounts without having someone tell you how to run your accounts and your business.
Gotcha. Now, when it comes to just doing a good job in this space, what does training look like? Are you hiring people that you're hoping they have the sales chops already, or are you hiring people that they got the drive and you guys are happy to give them the sales chops?
Yeah, so both, honestly. So I can give an example right now. So, like in North Texas, we're hiring 2 reps right now. One of them comes from a background of healthcare distribution, and the other comes from a background of, he was doing B2B sales for the last 5 years and really impressed us with his drive, his want, and through the interview. So I think if the opportunity presents itself and it's the right person and they have the drive and everything, MedPro is always willing to hear them out and have a conversation with them on if it would be a good fit for us as well as them. Because at the end of the day, it has to be a good fit for that person as well.
Right.
And I think that's what we're finding with MedPro too, is that, we also want to make sure it's a good fit for you, because our viewpoint on it is we don't want this to be a stepping stone for people, right? We want this to be a tenured, long
Where they
journey.
land, where you want them to land here. So do you guys train your reps or no?
Yeah, we do. So every manufacturer that we have, we train them with them, as well as we do sales training with our regional vice presidents. And we have enterprise managers as well that will do sales training. We also, if a new manufacturer comes on, we'll probably go to their hometown where they're based out of.
Training. That makes sense.
And do a training there.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Okay. So for those people listening right now, talk to us about access to this type of space, to work in this type of space. Do you need a bachelor's degree? There's a lot of people listening right now that don't have one, that are thinking medical sales is not an option. And I think what you do is a perfect opportunity to share with them that, look, there is a space for you if you can bring the right stuff. So go ahead.
Yeah. So without a bachelor's degree, I think there's plenty of room for you to grow inside the medical space as well as get into it, right? So for us, I think if you're not having a bachelor's degree, that doesn't turn us off, right? I think in the most part, what a lot of people are looking for in medical sales, especially for MedPro, is that, we're looking for, like I said, that drive, that want to wake up every morning and go out there and kill it, right? We're not going to be able to get you out of your desk if you're not going to want to get out of your desk, right? Or we're not going to be able to get you to dial that phone if you don't want to dial your phone. So I think those intangibles that people bring, whether that's, being an amazing person, stand-up attitude, great follow-up, all of those things combined, I think make an amazing 1099 rep. And people look over that if you don't have a degree, if you can bring those intangibles.
Gotcha. These days, I feel like 10 years ago, medical sales was like a secret industry. In 2026, people like myself, other people that talk about it, I think it's much more popular. And I even like to say that since COVID, it's become much more popular. And now you have people from all different avenues of life wanting to get into medical sales, whether you're a bartender, dog walker, sales rep, clinician, new grad, whatever it is, everybody wants to be in this space. If you were to qualify it and say, okay, but you would like, as Gage, you as a hiring manager, I want to see that you bring this specifically, this skill specifically, and this skill specifically. So I'm talking beyond this to drive and the want, some tangible skills that you'd want to see from someone that maybe doesn't have a bachelor's and you're thinking about them for a position. What are those?
Yeah, so I'd say one of the biggest ones for 1099 is time management, right? If you're not able to time manage, I think you quickly fall into the quicksand of the 1099 world. Obviously, time management, huge. I think confidence is another, right? Like I said earlier, you're going to get told no so many times. You got to have that confidence to be able to walk into that next account and be that fanatical prospector. I think the third thing that I really like to see in folks is that fanatical prospecting, right? Are they prospecting at every moment that they can? Because as a 1099 rep, you're your own leader, right? So if you're out having dinner, if you're out, playing some pickup basketball, it's always asking those questions, asking those, hey, how do I get in with you? How do I get in there? Or it might be your buddy down the street that owns a clinic. And you're like, hey, I didn't know this until I asked you that question. So it's that fanatical prospecting and that motivational myth, right? So I think being able to be a fanatical prospector, having that time management and confidence are the big three biggest things that I like to see in the reps that we hire.
I love it. I love it. On that note, talk to us about some of your best reps. I mean, the ones that are killing it. In addition to what you've just shared that you want to see, what are some of the things that the reps are just killing it that they just do over and over again? Like when you think of them, you're like, yeah, that person's a beast, and it's because of A, B, and C.
Yeah, I think there's a certain amount of reps in our company that come to mind when you talk about that. I think one of the main things is being educational, right? We're being consultative. We're not being those pushy sales guys, right? We're selling solutions. We're not selling, a product. We want to figure out that problem that they're having and integrate our solution that's going to fix that problem, whether or not that's making sure the standard operating procedures are better inside the hospital, saving them money, whatever that might be, but figuring out that solution and being able to find that person that cares about it, I think is what sets out those reps, as well as just killer follow up. Time kills every deal, right? So that killer follow up, as well as, with that product knowledge and solutions, I think is the perfect combination of being the one stop shop or the Staples easy button, as I like to say, for these clinicians or facilities that are working with you.
Got it. So you've hired a lot of people, and you've hired people that have these skills and demonstrated these skills. And then I'm sure after hiring them, they were in the job and it just did not pan out.
Yeah.
What are the things that you kept seeing over and over that usually leads to that scenario?
I really think going back to that fanatical prospecting, I think it's, you can have your days, your afternoons where it's like, hey, I'm really not feeling it. I don't feel the drive right now. Let me take a couple hours off and I'll get back to it tomorrow. But falling into that procrastination, I think procrastination is the main thing that kills most of our reps out there in the 1099 world. Once you procrastinate as a 1099 and you get in a little lull of not reaching out, not prospecting multiple days in a row, it might not affect you immediately, but it's going to affect you 90 days later when those coaches are coming, and not coaches, but RVPs or manufacturers coming, and you might have a stale pipeline, or you might not have those opportunities that that week you didn't hit it that hard. You might have found one or two opportunities for that manufacturer for that month, your month-long meeting next month that you could present, and now you're kind of sitting there like, I don't have anything.
Right, right. Do you believe that with 1099 and with such a big range of products, territory specificity still plays a role? Or do you think that you can make it anywhere if you have the right mindset?
Both. I think a little bit both, to be honest.
Okay.
I think a little bit of both. So with us, we're broken up into enterprise. And I think obviously like travel wise for 1099s, myself, I love being in person. That's where I thrive. I love being inside the clinics and the hospitals rather than cold calling. But I think, territory wise, if you are someone that loves being in the building, loves talking to people, those personal connections, I think your territory matters, right? So like being able to drive to your hospitals, being able to get there. But if you're really driven, you love being behind the phone, I think 1099, you could make it work anywhere in the world, really, because you are then being a consultative 1099 rep. And you can do that anywhere if you wanted to, if you really didn't have a territory and you just wanted to say you're working in Texas and have a couple lines that, are nationwide. You could call in Montana or some of those spots that really aren't hit up as much by reps. But with us, we have our territories where it gives us the ability to travel inside our territory.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So let's talk a little bit more about that with the VA and getting access. When I think government, when I think VA specifically, I just think that's a bear. That must be a bear to get access to. And there's so many moving parts for so many other things that have nothing to do with MedPro that how do you even, say, hey, look at me, I want to talk to somebody. Talk to us a little bit about the reality of that challenge. Is it that challenging, or would you say that no, VAs are easy to get access to? What would you say, and how do you guys get around it?
It depends, I guess, how you define access. I guess, are you asking access as like a rep or access as like getting a product in, or?
As a rep, okay, let's say you're a new rep. You are in your territory, you're responsible for these VAs, and you've never been there before. And it's time, it's go time.
All right. So I think that the VAs these days, they're a little trickier to get into if you don't have the contracting, right? So we have some great contracting arms behind us. I work with a lot of folks like Apex, Medlock Solutions, Mercy Medical out of San Antonio. And that's your door in, right? Is the contract. So
Gotcha.
getting that federal supply schedule or that GSA or the DAPA for the DoD, that's your way in. Granted, we have a lot of manufacturers. If you sign that contract, it's not like it's, hey, you're going to sell $1 million in that VA immediately. That's just your way in, right? And then you also have the credentialing systems that you have to go through, like the Simpler, the
Mm-hmm.
IntelliCentrics of the
Yep.
world. So those are your first two steps, right, to gaining access in my eyes. Also, I think your product portfolio or your product mix also depends as well. So if it's a product that the VA is already buying, I think that's a really easy way in that you can go in there. But if they're not buying it already, first off, getting those contracts. Second off, I think rather than just walking in to most places with VAs that I work with, you get a slap on the wrist usually when you just walk in without knowing someone or anyone. So setting up that initial meeting, I think, is key to get that inside those VAs, right? So at least getting one champion inside that VA, so then they could, walk you to biomed. Say it's an infection preventionist. I do this all the time, right? Where I'm talking to them like, hey, I know that these wipes are affiliated with a lot of devices and want to make sure that it's okay with biomed. Any chance that you could walk me down there and introduce me to biomed? And right then and there, you gain 5 more contacts and a friendly face that brings you down there as well.
Yeah. So the territory managers, if there isn't a contract in place, are they discouraged from even attempting, or are they encouraged to go there and try to set something up so that a contract can be set up?
So vice both ways, right? So you can get that want from a VA and then they can buy it. They can buy it off contract if they want to, but it's really getting that want and then you can get that loaded to a contract. So having someone that is a contract partner, like someone that owns an SDV OSB is someone who you would want to partner with if you were trying to get into there. They have all the contracts. They're a service disabled vet. So the VA wants to do business with them. So tying yourself to someone with an SDV OSB is critical.
Gotcha. Wow. Okay. So in this space, as a rep that's not familiar with how the government space works, how do you guys get them familiar? Is it kind of like, look, get out there, here's the manual, get out there and figure it out, we're gonna give you a month? Or is it kind of your reps are going on ride-alongs for like the first 3 months before anything happens?
It's a combination, a little bit of both. I'd say at the beginning, they're doing ride-alongs with another rep inside their territory, right? So for me, if we hired a North Texas rep, that rep would come down here, train with me. We'd go into the VA. I'd show them how the processes work, who you need to talk to, how you need to talk to these folks. And at the same time, we're also getting training from our manufacturer partners on how they want to sell into the VA, right? Because every manufacturer wants to sell a little bit differently. They might have a different distribution channel. They might work with a different SDV OSB than that next manufacturer works with. So kind of understanding those cycles. And I myself, I would say, do probably all of the training with our reps on our government side.
Yeah. Okay, very cool. Now, how does the money look like in this space? And if give us a range. Lower end reps are making this much. Okay. Entry level, what's the expectation first year? 2, 3, 4 years in, what are solid reps usually earning?
Yeah, I'd say entry level, anywhere from like $60,000 to $80,000, I'd say is where you're going to be starting at. And then I think once you start killing it, to be honest, the government's a huge entity, right? So I think it's really endless. But from what I've seen, I'd say anywhere from like 150 to 250 with a good rep. And then those excellent reps.
Give us the top. Like, what is the upper echelon 1%?
Million. You're making $1 million plus inside the government with a lot of these products. And we all know working with the government, and it might take a little bit for you to get a product in. That next rep is going to have to put in that exact same amount of work as you, or if not more, to get your product switched out. And there's a lot of work that goes into that with the government entities. I've worked on deals where it takes a year and a half to get them situated, right? So someone else is going to have to come in there and do 2 years of work to top that.
Right. So, and those $1 million earners, 10 years in, 15 years in, 20 years in, or even less?
Yes, I'd say 7 to 10 to 15 years, really getting entrenched with those systems. And, the government's a tricky entity too, right? So I think you can get your big pops and then they might go silent like our government shutdown we had last year. We
Right,
had a
right.
really tough year with all of that going on. So those variables, granted, might affect your change of pay,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
think for the most part, government's one of the most standardized. You'll see the same pay year on year end.
Got it. So we got to take it there because this is the Medical Sales Podcast and nothing's off limits. So with the new administration, has it been easier or harder to do your job?
I think in certain instances it's been a lot harder recently just because I think they're a lot more conscientious of where they're spending our tax dollars, which I hope they would be, right? But in the medical world, I think it's every month it's changing, right? So I think on a month to month basis, it's it's good, it's bad, it's good, it's bad. So I think it's really dependent on the funding and what the administration is giving out on, how this next year is going to shape up. But year in and year out, you know what you're going to be expecting. There might be a couple of hiccups here and there like last year, but for the most part, I don't think they make it harder. It just might make it a little more challenging funding wise for capital equipment ventures or
Sure.
but then it might make it easier for manufacturers that I work with like Metrics where it's hey, I'm presenting $100,000 in cost savings to every facility where they
Right,
might bite on that immediately because of what's going on
right,
with the administration, right?
right, right. So, and you can speak for yourself here. Are you just up to date on all things political because of your job, or does it not really work that way? I guess what I'm trying to ask is, you know, when a Democrats come into office, are you guys like, okay, guys, we got to be prepared for this. When a Republicans comes off, okay, guys, we got to be prepared for this. Is it, and you just got to be on the forefront of what's happening, or is it more nuanced and you're a little separated and you can just focus on doing your job?
Yeah, so I think obviously that knowledge of just whatever you're in is beneficial, right? So, I mean, I just read up on magazines or, little posts on LinkedIn, little posts on Twitter here and there. And I think that gives me enough knowledge to be lethal with, understanding the world that we live in. And I also lean on, folks that I know that, hey, they might have their son in the active military. And I'll be like, hey,
Sure. Yeah.
what is he hearing right now out there in
Yeah.
the field? Is
Yeah.
he able to buy products right now at his hospital in the DoD? Also, at the same time, our contracting partners that we work with on a daily basis, reaching out to them, seeing, hey, have you heard anything different from your contracting specialist at the
Right.
VA? Are they seeing, a release of funds, a freeze of funds? What's going on there? So I think using your resources to your best ability, if you have some contacts in there, like I know a lot of people inside the VA at this point. So honestly, I reach out to them too. And most of the time, I will say I get the response, Gage, you know just as much as me, if not more right now. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. And then, I guess your social circle, is it when you're working at MedPro, you said it's a family, you said guys, a lot of you guys are athletes, it's 1099. Would you say that is your social circle, or do you have a whole life separate that has nothing to do with your customers and your colleagues at MedPro?
yeah, so I mean, I'm fully intertwined with MedPro. All of those folks are my friends and family to this day. If someone needed me out there in Tennessee or Montana or California, I'd drop everything, fly out there, help them out, whatever they
Wow.
needed. But to your question, I think it's just a family atmosphere. We really pride ourselves in that. Bill Sparks started this company, and since then, he's just hired standout people. He's a standout guy, and we try to emulate that from the top all the way down to the bottom with the new reps.
Yeah.
So, in
Yeah.
our outside of MedPro, I've got a wonderful fiance, Jasmine Reyes.
Yeah.
We're actually about to get married here with
Hey,
here
congratulations,
soon.
man.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. Appreciate that. But yeah, I'm the oldest of six as well. So I'm a huge family guy. I mean, I root myself in family as well. That's, I think,
Yeah.
why I found MedPro so intriguing as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, I'm the oldest of six. The youngest, or the closest to me is about 21. Actually, he's just
Yeah.
turning 21 next week,
Okay.
flying out to
Okay.
Florida with
Very
him.
cool.
And the farthest from me is about 14. So a decent age gap. And I think that's actually helped me out somewhat as well in sales because, managing wise, you might have to manage some folks like
Yeah.
they're your little brother or little sister per
Yeah.
se
Yeah.
sometimes,
Yeah. Yeah. How long you been MedPro now?
Just under 5 years now.
Under 5 years. Got it. Got it. Okay. Take us to this moment, and it can be recently, it can be years and years ago when you first started, but we want to hear when you were doing this job and you were like, and this happened, and you said to yourself, oh man, I love my job.
Yeah. So I think Probably about 6 to 8 months in when I started feel like I wasn't drinking from a fire hose, and I actually started to make some sales, and then it just started snowballing, and I realized, like, the autonomy that I have, I'm not gonna get from anywhere else. I love everyone inside this company like family, and I think it kinda just clicked one day where it was like, I don't wanna do anything different. I was looking around me, and MedPro has reps that, have just started, but we also have reps that have been around for 15 to 20 years, which you don't see too much anymore, I feel like, inside the medical sales world with other companies. So I was looking around seeing that. And then, obviously we have our trainings and, we have some adult beverages and get around talking. And I think just sitting there looking around, realizing, hey, I don't think I'm going to find anything better than this. And I think I love what I do. So it clicked about 8 months in and I was like,
Hey,
I'm never leaving.
that's amazing, man. That's amazing. This is fantastic. A few last things we're gonna do, but one thing I want to ask you, if you could, talk to your old self, just starting out, what's one big piece of advice that you'd give yourself? Like, hey, man, please remember ABC.
That's an amazing question. I think the main thing would be stay calm. I think staying calm throughout everything would have been the biggest beneficiary for me at the beginning, because I think when you're starting out, you have so many things going on. And if you can just exude that calmness and confidence, that seeps over not only to you, obviously, but to everyone around you, right? Your accounts, your peers, people you're working with, distribution channels. If you exude that calmness, everyone else exudes that as well.
I love it. I love it. All right, Gage, this has been fantastic. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And remember, I have a customized and personalized program that gets you into the medical technology industry as a sales professional, or any type of role for that matter. Become a top performer in your position and masterfully navigate your career to executive level leadership. Check out these programs and learn more at evolvesuccess.com by visiting our site, filling out an application, schedule some time with one of our account executives, and allowing us to get you where you need to be. Stay tuned for more awesome content with amazing interviews on the Medical Sales Podcast.